In a bustling market in Lagos, Nigeria, the sun is high in the sky. Bright colors and lively sounds fill the air. The scent of fresh bread, ripe fruits, and spicy pepper soup is everywhere. People are busy haggling and buying their daily needs. Paul, a hardworking father of 4, is at the market with his shopping list. His children, Funmi, Tund, Ao, and little Said, are at home, eagerly waiting for him to return with food. Paul's face shows signs of worry. He counts his money and hopes it will be enough for all the things his family needs. At the checkout counter, Paul carefully places his groceries on the conveyor belt. The cashier, a young woman named Amaka, scans the items. The total appears on the screen, and Paul's heart sinks. It's more than he expected. He counts his money again, realizing he doesn't have enough. Amaka looks at Paul with a frown. "You don't have enough money. You should have checked before coming here," she says loudly. Other customers turn to look, and Paul feels a hot flush of embarrassment. He starts to remove items from his basket, but his hands tremble. Just then, an elderly woman named Kathleen steps forward. Her eyes are kind, and her face is wrinkled with age and wisdom. She places a gentle hand on Paul's arm and says, "It's okay, I will pay for your groceries." Paul looks at her in surprise and gratitude. "Thank you. You don't know how much this means to me and my children." Kathleen smiles warmly and pays the cashier. Paul quickly packs his groceries into his bag. As they step outside the store, Paul wants to thank her properly. He pulls out his wallet and takes out a small, worn photo. He hands it to Kathleen. "This is a picture of my family," Paul explains. "My wife, Kemi, passed away last year. It's been tough, but we're managing. Thank you again for your kindness." Kathleen takes the photo and looks closely. Suddenly, she gasps and her eyes fill with tears. "This woman, your wife, Kemi, I knew her many years ago. She was my best friend when we were young. We lost touch when I moved to another village." Paul is stunned. "You knew my wife?" "Yes," Kathleen nods. "She was like a sister to me. I can't believe it." Tears roll down her cheeks as memories flood back. "I have been so lonely since my children moved abroad. Meeting you today feels like fate." Paul is moved by her words. "Kathleen, would you like to come to our home and meet my children? They would love to hear stories about their mother from someone who knew her so well." Kathleen's face brightens with a smile. "I would love that very much." Together, they walk towards Paul's home, knowing that this chance meeting has changed both their lives forever. As Paul and Kathleen walk towards his home, the vibrant streets of Lagos buzz around them. The city's energy is contagious, and despite the challenges he faces, Paul feels a sense of hope and warmth he hasn't felt in a long time. When they arrive at Paul's modest home, the children rush to the door, excited to see their father. Funmi, the eldest at 12, helps him with the groceries, while Tund, Ao, and little Said jump around, eager to see what he brought. "Children, I have someone very special for you to meet," Paul announces, his voice filled with emotion. "This is Kathleen. She was your mother's best friend when they were young." The children gather around, their eyes wide with curiosity and excitement. Kathleen bends down to their level, her face lighting up with a warm smile. "Hello, my dears," she says softly. "Your mother and I were very close. I have so many stories to tell you about her." The children's faces brighten with joy. They have always longed to know more about their mother. Paul guides everyone inside, and they all settle in the small living room. The children sit on the floor, their eyes glued to Kathleen as she begins to share stories. Kemi was the kindest person I knew, Kathleen starts. She always had a smile on her face and a kind word for everyone. She loved to sing and dance, and she dreamed of traveling the world. The children listen in awe as Kathleen continues. She tells them about the time she and Kemi rescued a stray puppy and how Kemi's laughter could light up the darkest room. The stories are filled with love, adventure, and a sense of deep friendship. As the afternoon turns into evening, the bond between Kathleen and the children grows stronger. They laugh, they cry, and they feel a connection to their mother they hadn't felt before. Paul watches with gratitude. He realizes that Kathleen's presence is a blessing, not just for his children, but for him as well. Her stories bring back memories of Kemi and fill the house with a sense of warmth and love. After a while, Paul steps into the kitchen to prepare dinner. Funny joins him, eager to help. "Papa, can Kathleen stay with us for a while?" she asks quietly. "I like hearing about Mama. It makes me feel like she's here with us." Paul smiles and ruffles her hair. "I was thinking the same thing, Funny. Let's ask her." After dinner, they all sit together once more. Paul clears his throat, feeling a bit nervous. "Kathleen, would you like to stay with us for a while? We would love to have you here, and the children enjoy your stories so much." Kathleen's eyes fill with tears again, but this time they are tears of joy. "I would love to stay with you, Paul. Thank you for inviting me into your home and your hearts." The children cheer, and little Sade hugs Kathleen tightly. "Thank you, Grandma and Ketchy," she says with her small voice. Kathleen laughs and hugs her back. "Thank you, my dear. I promise to share all the stories I know and help you remember your wonderful mother." As the night falls, the family feels more complete than ever before. They know that they have found a new source of strength and love in Kathleen. The future looks brighter, and they are ready to face it together, with the memory of Kemi always in their hearts. In the days that follow, Kathleen quickly becomes an integral part of the family. She helps the children with their homework, tells them bedtime stories, and even teaches them how to cook some of Kemi's favorite dishes. The house, once filled with a lingering sadness, now buzzes with laughter and warmth. One sunny afternoon, Kathleen and the children decide to clean up the attic. They find boxes filled with old photographs, letters, and keepsakes. Each item they uncover tells a story, and the children are eager to learn more about their mother. "Look at this," Bunny says, holding up an old photo album. "Kathleen, can you tell us about these pictures?" Kathleen's eyes twinkle with nostalgia. She opens the album and starts flipping through the pages. "This was our school's cultural day," she explains, pointing to a picture of young Kemi in traditional attire. "Your mother performed a beautiful dance." Everyone was mesmerized. Tund, Ao, and Sade gather around, peering at the pictures and listening intently. They ask questions, and Kathleen answers each one with patience and love. As they dig deeper, Funny finds a small, worn-out journal. She opens it and begins to read aloud. "This is Mama's handwriting. It's a diary." Paul, who has been watching from the doorway, steps forward. "I didn't know she kept a diary," he says, his voice filled with emotion. Kathleen smiles gently. "Kemi loved to write. She used to say that writing helped her keep her dreams alive." The family sits together and starts reading the diary. They discover Kemi's thoughts, dreams, and hopes for the future. There are entries about her love for her family, her dreams of traveling, and even funny anecdotes about the children when they were younger. One entry catches Paul's eye. It's dated a few months before Kemi passed away. He reads it aloud. Dear Diary, I worry about what will happen to Paul and the children if I am no longer here. I want them to be happy and to follow their dreams. I hope they know how much I love them. I pray they find someone who will be there for them, just as Kathleen was there for me when I needed her most. Tears well up in everyone's eyes as they read Kemi's heartfelt words. Kathleen wipes away a tear and hugs the children close. Your mother loved you all so much. She wanted nothing but the best for you. Funmi looks up at Kathleen and says, I think Mama sent you to us. She knew we needed you. Paul nods in agreement. We are so grateful to have you here, Kathleen. You've brought so much joy and comfort to our home. Kathleen smiles through her tears. And you have brought me the greatest gift of all, family. I promise to be here for you, always. As the days turn into weeks, the bond between Kathleen and Paul's family grows stronger. She helps them navigate life's challenges, offers wisdom and guidance, and fills their home with love. One evening, as they all sit around the dinner table, Paul has an announcement. I've been thinking a lot about Kemi's dreams, he begins. She always wanted to travel, and I want to honor her memory by taking the children on a trip. A family vacation. The children's eyes light up with excitement. Where will we go, Papa? Tund asks eagerly. I was thinking we could start with visiting Kathleen's village, Paul replies. It would be wonderful to see where Mama grew up and learn more about her life. Kathleen beams with happiness. That's a wonderful idea, Paul. I would love to show you all my village and share even more stories about Kemi. As they start planning their trip, the family feels a renewed sense of hope and adventure. They know that with Kathleen by their side, they can face anything the future holds. The journey ahead promises to be filled with new experiences, deeper connections, and a lasting tribute to Kemi's memory. The day of the trip arrives, and the family is buzzing with excitement. They pack their bags, double-check their list, and load everything into the old family car. Kathleen, dressed in her finest traditional attire, looks radiant and ready to share her childhood memories. As they drive out of Lagos and into the countryside, the scenery changes from busy streets to lush green landscapes. The children press their faces against the windows, marveling at the wide open fields and tall trees. After a few hours, they arrive at Kathleen's village. It's a peaceful place with mud huts, thatched roofs, and friendly faces. People greet Kathleen warmly, and she introduces Paul and the children with pride. Welcome to my home, she says, her voice filled with emotion. This is where your mother and I grew up. Let me show you around. They visit the village square, where elders sit under a large tree, sharing stories and wisdom. Kathleen points out the small schoolhouse where she and Kemi learned to read and write. The children are fascinated, imagining their mother as a young girl, playing and learning in this very place. In the evening, the village gathers for a special welcome celebration. There's music, dancing, and delicious food. Funmi, Tund, Ayo, and Sade join in the dancing, their laughter ringing out in the night. Paul and Kathleen watch with joy, knowing that this experience is creating precious memories for the children. The next day, Kathleen takes them to a beautiful river that runs through the village. The water is clear and cool, and the children splash and play while Kathleen tells them stories about the river's significance. This river has always been a source of life for our village, she explains. Your mother and I used to come here to fetch water and play. We would sit by the riverbank and dream about our future. As they sit by the river, Paul takes out a small, carefully wrapped package. He hands it to Kathleen. "This is for you," he says. Kathleen opens the package to find a beautiful framed photograph of Kemi, taken on their wedding day. Her eyes fill with tears as she gazes at the picture. "Thank you, Paul. This means so much to me." The children gather around, looking at the photograph and listening to more stories about their mother. The bond between them and Kathleen grows even stronger as they share these special moments. The days pass quickly, filled with exploration, learning, and joy. They visit neighboring villages, learn traditional crafts, and even help with the village's daily chores. The children are eager to help and learn, embracing the simplicity and beauty of village life. On the last day of their visit, the village holds a farewell ceremony. Kathleen gives a heartfelt speech, expressing her gratitude for the warmth and love they have received. "This trip has brought back so many beautiful memories," she says, "and it has created new ones that I will cherish forever." Paul stands beside her, holding the children close. "We are so thankful for your stories, your kindness, and your love, Kathleen. This trip has been more than we ever imagined." As they prepare to leave, the village elders present the family with gifts: a basket of fresh produce, handmade crafts, and a special keepsake for each child. Funmi receives a beautiful beaded necklace, Tund a carved wooden figure, Ao a colorful woven mat, and Said a small clay pot. With tears and smiles, they say their goodbyes and promise to return. As they drive back to Lagos, the family feels a deep sense of connection to their roots and a renewed appreciation for their heritage. Back home, life returns to its routine, but the memories of the trip linger in their hearts. Kathleen continues to live with them, her presence a constant source of love and wisdom. The children cherish their keepsakes and the stories that come with them, feeling closer to their mother and their culture. As the weeks turn into months, life settles into a comfortable rhythm for Paul, Kathleen, and the children. The love and warmth in their home grow stronger every day, and the memories of their trip to the village are cherished by everyone. One evening, as they gather for dinner, Paul makes an announcement. "I've been thinking a lot about the future," he begins, looking at each of his children and then at Kathleen. "I want to make sure we continue to honor Kemi's dreams and build a life filled with love and happiness." Kathleen smiles and nods, encouraging him to continue. "I've decided to open a small business," Paul says. "A shop where we can sell traditional crafts, foods, and other items from Kathleen's village and neighboring areas. It will be a way to share our culture and heritage with others and to keep Kemi's spirit alive." The children cheer with excitement, and Kathleen's eyes shine with pride. "That's a wonderful idea, Paul," she says. "Your mother would be so proud of you." With the support of his family, Paul begins to work on his new venture. Kathleen helps him make connections with artisans and farmers in the village, and the children pitch in with ideas and enthusiasm. They transform a small space near their home into a vibrant shop filled with colorful fabrics, handmade jewelry, traditional foods, and more. The shop quickly becomes a success. Neighbors and friends are eager to buy the unique items and learn more about the rich culture and history behind them. Paul's hard work and dedication pay off, and the business grows steadily. One day, a young woman enters the shop. She looks around with curiosity and admiration. "This place is amazing," she says to Paul. "I can feel the love and history in everything here." "Thank you," Paul replies with a warm smile. "We started this shop to honor my late wife's dreams and to share our culture with the community. The woman introduces herself as Adana, a journalist who writes about cultural heritage and community stories. She's intrigued by the shop and the family's story and asks if she can write an article about them. Paul agrees, and Adana spends time with the family, learning about their journey, their struggles, and their triumphs. She writes a beautiful article that touches the hearts of many readers. The article brings even more attention to the shop, and people from all over come to visit. The business flourishes, and Paul finds a new sense of purpose and fulfillment. One evening, as they sit together in the living room, Paul takes Kathleen's hand. "I couldn't have done any of this without you," he says, his voice filled with gratitude. "You've been a guiding light for our family." Kathleen smiles, her eyes glistening with tears. "It has been my honor, Paul. Your family has given me a new sense of purpose and joy. I feel Kemi's presence with us every day." Funmi, Tund, Ayo, and Said gather around, hugging Kathleen tightly. "We love you," they say in unison. "I love you all too," Kathleen replies, her heart full. As the years go by, the family continues to thrive. The shop becomes a beloved community hub, and Paul's children grow up with a deep appreciation for their heritage and the love that binds their family together. Kathleen remains a cherished part of their lives, her wisdom and stories a constant source of inspiration. Together, they honor Kemi's memory and build a future filled with love, hope, and joy. And so, the story ends not with a final farewell, but with the promise of new beginnings, where the past and present intertwine to create a beautiful, lasting legacy.